Let's talk about that a little bit, about how friends relate or don't relate. Now, we're talking about a relatively young group of friends, as in their age is young. Were they allowed to visit him? Were they encouraged? What was their family's reaction like? I mean, I guess it's a mix of whether they're feeling comfortable to maintain that link with Harry or not.
I suppose our own journey was a bit of a hard one because I wasn't a mum that sort of knew all the other mums because I'd always worked full time. So I didn't get the joy of going to school and dropping Harry off every morning and collecting him, you know, which I absolutely lived for, you know, on my holidays. It was something that I really welcomed. But so I didn't get to know anybody quite cliquey, but there was a couple of his friends that did keep up that, you know, coming to see him and coming round to the house. But we were also, you know, we were very worried as a family to let Harry go to other people's houses and stay over. And I think as a parent, you just, you know, you worry at the slightest thing. But it's you know, we'd be happy to let him go off for a couple of hours if he was going to the park with someone.
Is this whilst he was unwell you're talking about? Or before?
Yeah, because if he was well enough in himself, obviously if he was poorly in himself, then we wouldn't let him go. But he needed that forget cancer moment.
Absolutely.
He needed that normality, and he needed to be a little 7-year-old boy, and cancer took over everything.
Definitely.
So wherever we could, as long as we knew Harry would be safe and well, you know, we would try and instill as much normality that we could, although it was a new normality, if you like.
Because he's got maybe adapted or restricted abilities or function just slightly from his either tumour or from the treatment. So obviously there might be minor changes that you want to make, but basically you're giving him permission to lead as normal a life as possible. Not just the permission, encouragement to do it.
Absolutely, you know, but we always had a fear as well of his friends' parents, you know, to be in that situation and to make sure that they understood how Harry was and that, you know, he's all right at the minute. He's well enough to come and play. But as parents, we did prefer it when the children had come to our house and we could, you know, be in control and make sure Harry was okay. Did
you ever get any odd reactions from either his little friends or from parents, or was it all as normal as you could expect?
It was all as normal. I think the school explained to them, you know, we didn't see a lot of the parents because we were just going through a journey that was going at 100 miles an hour. You know, it was just treatment, and you do become quite isolated. And as I say, it's a new routine, you know, it's, and people don't know how to talk to you, you know, and I think to them it makes them hug their kids a little bit closer because you just think, oh, we know them, you know, it's, you don't ever think it's going to happen to you, and you don't ever think it's going to happen to somebody that you know so well. So
that's interesting. So what was people's reaction to you personally as the mum of somebody who was looking after somebody who was unwell?
Very sympathetic, you know, and I remember when we first found out and Harry had just started with his treatment that the school were accommodating. They tried to let Harry go in so he hadn't got to be in the centre of the playground and things, but until they realised that Harry didn't care, you know. And if anything, I tried to pull myself back a little bit. I'm a person where I like to just get on with something, and sometimes the reminder of what's happening and somebody else actually telling me or speaking to me about that situation can make me really emotional. And if anything, you want your children to see, especially if Harry's in the playground, that, you know, we're all right, you're going to get through this and there's nothing to worry about. So for me, I suppose it's something I've just tried to keep inside and distance myself from.
What about your own friends? Were they still supportive through this?
You know what, my own friends, I've probably got, and back then, it's a hard one. I've probably got a handful of friends, didn't see a lot of them. My friends were my family, it was my husband and my 3 kids. Only
a few close friends and mainly your family who you rely on.
They were devastated, you know, and I knew that if I did need to, they'd be on the end of the phone. But again, I'm somebody that I would never want people to suddenly start coming to see me. just because they've heard the news. If you're not a part of my life every day, and I didn't mean that in a bad way, but I didn't want to scare the children as well, that, oh, I haven't seen them for 6 months, why are you suddenly starting coming around, you know? It had to be the normality. But I had some really good friends who I still have to this day that I can pick the phone up if need be, you know.